Hello Flosstube, my name is Catherine. If you're new to my channel, Stitching in Costume, I'd like to say welcome. And if you're returning, I'm so happy to see you back. Now, today I have a special Flosstube edition. This is an interview I did with my friend Angie Sawyer. You can find her on Instagram. I'll link all of her information below. And she was kind enough to invite me into her space, into her home, to see some of her beautiful stitching, into her craft room, to see all of the goodies that she has and the things that she's stitching, some of the amazing things she has on her wall. Angie is really into stitching over one on 25 count, so don't miss it. She's just really great. She's a beautiful stitcher. She used to have a shop, so she's got a lot of goodies in her craft room. So I'd like to say thank you to Angie for opening your home and to sharing with us all of the fun things that you have. And so enjoy. And I will be back with a Sampler September update next time and talking about all of the things that I have been stitching. But today it's all about Angie. So have a great time watching her and have a great September. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Hi, Angie. Okay, so let's back up a second. So Angie is a past store owner. So
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the store you had?
Sure. I had the store from 95 to 97. And in 97, I ended up having a total hysterectomy, and I didn't know how I was going to turn out from that, so we closed the store.
Right. And that was here in Sacramento or?
This was in Stockton.
Stockton, okay.
Yeah, and while I was there, Kathy Ray from Needle in a Haystack came up to our shop to see what we had so she would know what to put in her store.
Oh my gosh.
And I happened to have all the silks that were available back then, and so she did the same thing.
Got all the silks. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I just love to see stitchy chairs. So this is your stitchy chair. Tell me about how you have it set up. What do you like? How do you like to stitch?
I'm very short.
Me too.
So I needed the extra pillow behind me.
Right. That's okay.
And then basically I have a lamp that I ordered from Amazon. So it has a metal base.
Right.
Which I can attach magnets to.
Love it.
And I can put the magnet on and hang my scissors from.
Was this a recent purchase? So I can link it?
No, I actually purchased it like 3 or 4 years ago, but they do still have the
They
lamps.
have it still. I'll link that in the description.
Yeah, so I have that in my
And you have
wish
those
list to send you.
these little wrap.
So they can just simply fit over like this.
Right. To hold your excess fabric out of the way.
And it will hold. Right now, not because I'm moving my hands around it. But just like that.
And this is your
This is my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow.
Okay, just really quick because you have it here. Tell me what you're working this on.
This is worked 1/1 on 25 count vintage antique mocha, which I then sprayed with Primitive Gatherings antiquing spray to make it darker.
Got it. Let me go back to that. Wow. Let me see if oh, how beautiful. And this is Long Dog Pandemic. And you did it on
1/1 on 28 count.
28 count Lugana. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can get it without, there we are. Look at those beautiful stitches.
They're beautiful because you don't have your magnifiers on.
No, they're beautiful. And what did you do this with? What fibers or flosses?
That is using a Silks for You black and a Silks for You red.
From an angle.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
That is by far my favorite piece.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it always there?
Yes.
Yeah, pride of place. That's nice. And oh, here we go. Let's leave it there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Halloween. And you have one square left. Almost. I mean, you're filling in on the skeletons.
Yeah. filling in the skeletons. I have to fill in the first one, and then the second on the bottom is the only one that's totally empty right now.
And tell me again, so this is one over one on you, 25 count.
Yes.
Yeah, that you've antique sprayed. It is pretty cool. Wow. Amazing. Just beautiful. And you stitch pretty much in hand usually?
No, I stitch on a Q-snap.
Always?
So that I can stitch two-handed.
Okay, so how do you hold your Q? Oh, you hold your Q-snap kind of on your knee. Okay.
Yeah, I hold it with my knee.
Uh-huh.
And my chest.
Okay.
And then that way I can just stitch.
Uh-huh. Well, you're going to have to do a little demo later, maybe. Well, we'll see if you feel like it. But I like two-handed stitching too.
Yeah.
But I
like your setup where you're standing. Those were from Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby. How wonderful.
Yeah. Bought, of course, during the 40% off.
Uh-huh, of course.
The clock is actually from the 1930s.
Really?
And it was a fair prize. And it was something that you got as a prize for playing fair games back then.
Really?
Yeah. So very few of them still remain with their original faces.
Uh-huh.
Probably 100% of them, the original clocks don't work anymore. So some people have replaced the clock and the face.
Right.
Which of course gives it a different look. But the clock face itself does have a presidential.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me see if I can get it to focus there.
Yeah,
how cool.
Back in the Revolution time.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get these guys. That is so neat. So who's the center? Is that
My father-in-law may have been the one to win it at a fair. Either him or his mom.
So it's been in your family forever.
So it's been in the family since the 1930s.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
neat. So this is, now we're going to head into Halloween Town. So you can see it says, welcome. It's great.
Yeah, and a lot of these things are found, like these hangings were at Walmart.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Did you put them on the rods or were
No,
they?
they came on the rods.
Oh, how cute.
You just have to get to, like Walmart.
Before everything is picked over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the trick there.
And funnily
so
enough,
cute.
it starts in like August now.
Scary. Okay, so this was, you think
This was a sampler from Just Cross Stitch magazine back in the 90s.
Okay.
Or maybe even the 80s.
And you stitched it in 92 is when you finished.
Right, and so I think it was stitched over to on 25 count Lugana.
Okay.
And it was framed back then, of course, in 80s color matting and an 80s frame.
Right.
So I changed it up and ordered a new frame from Art to Frame, to fit it.
Right.
And it's now reframed.
Me too.
And you can tell in the alphabet that I went through one dye lot of the thread and then it changed.
Oh, was this DMC, do you think?
Yes, it was DMC.
Really? Because
And the
you'd
dye
think
lot
DMC
changed.
is like, bulletproof, but not really, huh?
No.
So that's all supposed to be this alphabet you're talking about, the
Yeah.
upper one?
And you can see at the P, it's one color, and then the Q to the Z changes to a different.
Yeah, it sure does. I like that though. Yeah. But you have it in it's pretty well lit in here. You're not worried about things fading, but you rotate things so much probably.
Well, in this hallway, if it's on the wall that gets the sun, it comes down. Mm-hmm. If it's on the wall, the exterior wall, it doesn't have to come down because sun will never hit it.
Right. So cool. Look at him. Boink.
Yeah, he's a fun bobber.
He's so fun. Yeah. So we have a beautiful collection from Joann's, you said?
Yes, these are all from Joann's. So purchased, I think, between 2000 and 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 15-year collection of Joann's houses.
Right. Do they do Christmas too?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Or they did.
And these, you said that you used to be able to put lights inside and plug them in, but you decided this was
the little light bulb that you would put in, and then a cord with a plug-in that would connect to it.
Right.
But when you have this many houses, to do that is just an extreme fire danger.
Yes, it is. And the trees were from Amazon?
Yes.
They're so
These
cute.
were 2 trees from Amazon. They're 5-foot trees, 5-foot pencil trees.
Pre-lit.
Pre-lit with the bases.
Okay.
So all I did was stick some picks and some bows in it.
Okay, now we're going into the sewing room. Prepare yourself. Okay, so this is your sewing / craft room.
Right. And I have Jack Skellington and his missus.
His
turn
little
around to
pumpkin
face
head.
us.
Oh my God, but normally they'd be facing out
But
for the...
For Halloween, they'll be facing out.
Uh-huh.
And there will be this purple sheer.
Behind them.
Yeah, and I just put it onto a string, gather it tight, hang it to the blinds, and then just drape it around them.
Okay.
And then I do put some lighted twigs at the base. And there's also this lamp here.
An up lamp. Okay, and they're resting on this really awesome. Is this a reproduction or?
It's a reproduction that I got through Country Sampler magazine.
Oh gosh, it's so adorable. Do you really keep floss in there?
No.
No. You have other places you like to store. Okay, I've just got to, okay, so there are so many things to look at in here on the walls and displayed. So we're gonna start right over here with this angel. And again, lavender and lace.
It's a lavender and lace. Back before I knew that you could stitch with 1 strand on 36 count.
Right.
So it was stitched 2 strands on 36 count. And I vowed never to do it again.
Okay. I know the feeling. I've done the same thing. And you're just like, why is this looking so bunchy? But obviously it's beautiful.
It still turned out gorgeous. Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning. And then up here we have...
That is a Mirabilia Santa
Uh-huh.
that I had my model stitcher stitch back in about 96.
Okay.
And she did a wonderful job with the stitching.
Oh, it's just...
And Ina was
amazing.
actually in her, I would say, late 70s when she stitched this.
Really?
Yes.
There's hope for me. I might be able to stitch...
There's hope for anyone.
I know. But it just seems so daunting to do all the beadwork for me, for the mirrors. I'm working on one and I just can't seem to get myself going on it.
I have to admit, nowadays I wouldn't do beadwork.
Right?
I would probably figure out a way to stitch around it.
Right. So this was one of the samples that was hanging up in your shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And okay, we're going to move around slowly. So more decorations in here. And then we
yes.
have Autumn at Hawk Run.
Yes.
And this is on 25?
Yes.
Country Mocha.
Mm-hmm.
Over 1.
Yes.
It is amazing. You just finished this year?
Yes,
or was
I think I finished it about 4 months ago.
Wow. And the call for flosses, you think?
Yeah, so it's just pinned to a...
It's pinned to a board right now before, and you're thinking of how to frame it. Yeah. Oh, so beautiful.
If you don't have the money to frame, you can always, pin and lace to foam core and put up a little cord on the back and hang it in your house so you can at least view it.
View it, and that's a really good tip.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be framed immediately.
Right.
Now this one is one of Brendan of Fox and Rabbit's yearly sales.
2018 or 2018?
Yes, this would be the 2018 sale.
Oh, so beautiful.
And Brendan does beautiful sales that are free of charge for the year. So don't hesitate to go to Fox and Rabbit and get onto the sale. And
do they keep these up indefinitely, or is this something you purchase now?
They just started recently to put a charge on the older sales, but it's only $10.
Oh yeah, no, it's
a whole year of the sale.
Sure.
So yeah, even if they're $10 each, don't hesitate to buy them.
Oh, absolutely. And you could do just a small segment of it and do a drum or something.
Yes.
And now, what did you stitch this on? This one looks like it's over 1 too.
I believe this one is on 28 count.
And we're over 1, and it's almost a grayish floss.
This is
Do you
the
remember?
Silks for You Black.
Silks for You Black. Okay.
Yeah. Or actually, no, I take it back.
Okay.
They had a charcoal that was just a shade lighter than the black.
Oh.
And that's what this one was.
Okay. It's gorgeous. I love those mermaids. Look at that. And then the one next to it is... I feel like I've seen this one recently.
Yeah, it's called Magic 525.
Yes.
And I know someone else. Oh, I think it was, I can't remember her name. Emily C.
Emily C.
was mentioning it.
Okay, because I think I was watching her and then I had to go over and look at it and I almost purchased it based on, and now I think I'm going to have to get it. I love those stags.
Yeah, it was really funny because you have the stags and then at the very bottom you have the babies.
The babies. So I'm just curious how, I mean, one of the reasons why you stitch on a small, stitch small is so that you don't have giant pieces to frame and to hang. You can find places for these. So,
because I figure if you're going to, when you get older, you move into a smaller place.
Right.
You're not going to have as much wall space.
Right.
So if you stitch it smaller, and anyone can try stitching over 1 on 25 count Lugana.
Right. Lugana is easier because there's nothing, it doesn't disappear as much when you're over 1.
Yeah, it's all even weave. Mm-hmm. You may have a thread slip, but the way to do that is to form it like a ribbon instead of just doing your bottom left to upper right and bottom right to upper left. Mm-hmm. Do bottom left to upper right and then around to upper left down to your bottom right.
Oh,
so
and
then
that
you're
way
wrapping the thread.
You're wrapping it.
And it's not going to fall behind it. It's one easy trick.
Okay, that's a great tip. And so, okay, so we've got more over 1, and I love this. You let me borrow this pattern, and I can't wait to do it. But that is so extremely tiny. That's even more tiny. What is that?
I think that was stitched over 1 on 36 count.
Okay, that makes sense.
Using Gloriana Cranberry Red.
Oh, do you know what it's called? I can't remember what that one's. The red.
I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember. I will, if I can find it, I'll insert it. I think I have it in my stash because I think you let me borrow it. What are you doing here?
Okay, not this book.
Is this?
I have all of my finished charts in these little binders because I always use working copies.
Okay.
So with working copies, I just stick the working copy and write everything down in the book.
Okay. So when you finish it, you just have it in a special binder so you always have reference to what you have, unless you loan it out.
And then that way I can give away the original chart. And
keep your working.
Hold on to it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
And then that way, if anything ever happens to it, knowing it needs to be repaired, I have the working chart that I can go to.
Right. Has that ever happened where you've had something that you have to...
Thank God, no, not yet.
No, it won't. Knock on wood.
This is Bird in Hand by Blackbird Designs.
Oh, okay. That's why we love it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bird in Hand by Blackbird Designs. Do you think people can still get that, or is it probably...
I think it's probably out of print.
Sewing Bird.
And that was just a cheap...
Amazon, right?
Amazon buy.
I know. I've almost bought it several times. I've had it in and out of my cart. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it at some point. And what's this one?
That is an Acorns and Threads thread holder.
Oh.
So I put it backwards so you can see who it's from.
Nice. And then these are just some of your scissors.
Yes. Just some. And then the card is a Katie Strachan card.
Her box.
Yeah, her box.
Oh, so are you doing that? Are you working
I will not stitch it as a box. I will stitch it to frame it.
Yeah. And this one is...
That one was from Sassy Jacks.
Oh, yes.
That was a Sassy Jacks.
Again, it looks even smaller than...
Because it's stitched on 25 count over 1.
But I mean, it looks even smaller than that, but it's not. Okay.
No.
All right. That's so amazing.
Yeah, and the board was just a cheapie from... I think from Walmart.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, I just stuck some pins up in it.
That's so cute. I love it. I love that squirrel.
Yeah.
It was a freebie?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll link that if I can find it.
And then this one is a fun one.
Oh, that is fun.
And that one is an antique, well, it's a pattern that came out in the early 90s, I think.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it was supposed to be much larger than it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was stitched over one on 32 count.
Look at this beauty. This is just gorgeous. And this one is...
I can't remember.
I
think it's Leontine de Hurt.
Okay. And who is the... It's not...
Might be Lila's Studio.
Okay. I'll find it. And
Yeah.
I will put it across here where it's from. Because I think you loaned this to me too. So I have it in my... I will... People are probably screaming. And again, this is
Over one on 25.
Vintage Country Mocha.
Yes.
Do you remember the floss you used on it?
I think this is the Silks for You dark red. And these are little doodads that I made.
Oh, those are so great. So
And then this is my little scissor fob that's
Oh, look at how cute.
Blackbird over 1 on 25 count. And then just
Oh my gosh.
basically glued to felt.
Love it. Love, love, love it. And look at this guy. He's so cute.
Yeah,
Do you remember what he's from?
Okay, he was a pattern by Curtis Boehringer back in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
And he stitched in flower thread on 32 count Lugan or 32 count linen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just starting to use flower thread and I really like it. He's cute.
And he's also a Curtis Boehringer.
Okay. Beautiful. Just gonna go around. There's so much to see here.
Yeah, and the little heart with the 96 is a piece that I designed for a class piece.
Okay.
Back when I had the store.
Uh-huh.
And it's silk ribbon, and silk ribbon is really easy and forgiving if you mess up on a stitch.
Mm-hmm. And you can cover a lot of ground with silk ribbon too. It's nice. You can make it do a lot fast, and you can probably finish it faster. But
yeah, the Merry Christmas is from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition. I'm not sure what year, but that's where it came from.
okay. And Halloween and
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
And those were 2 charts, and I forget who they're by.
Okay.
Look.
You can look in your book. I'm going to look around here. So these are some scissors. Do you have a favorite pair?
My favorite ones were called Tres Clavels.
Tres Clavel. Are they?
And you can see the painting on the edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very sharp, very pointed scissors. So if you wanted to work on hardanger or cut work and get close to the threads, you could with these. The blades were very fine, very well made scissors, and just beautiful to look at.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, so this is one pair.
Okay. So you have more than one of that brand? And you know I'm going to ask about this
Here's
adorable
another set.
holder in a second, but
And
are
it's the
these your
same thing.
go-to, kind of? Your go-to scissor?
They're my favorites, but they're not the ones I would take with me.
You wouldn't
I
want to
just-
travel with these.
No, I just take basically a cheaper pair of scissors when I'm traveling.
Sure.
Anything that can get close to the thread on the back. That's it.
Yeah. They're beautiful. And tell me about the holder you have here.
I can't remember the designer.
Oh, it's so darn cute.
But it was stitched over one on a 32 count linen.
Uh-huh.
And she did design it that way.
Really?
And then the back, the capitals are on over 2.
Mm-hmm.
The year is over 1.
And did you make the little yo-yos at the top? Or
No, I purchased them from Etsy.
They're so cute. Can I turn this over?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see the back. Oh, it's just, it's
Yeah, so
finished
it's
like
just-
that. Did you finish it?
I finished it, so it was a little bit cattywampus on the front. But the back is just a blackwork design stripe. Or blackbird design.
Blackbird design. Yeah, it is just beautiful. Really love those little
Oh, the disc?
wool discs. Yeah, pins. So sweet. All right, while you're finding things, I'm gonna go go through some of the... Is this Blackbird design too? The Halloween Eve?
Yes. Okay, the Halloween is by Hindsight.
Hindsight. Let me look at that. Okay. Halloween Witch.
And then the Nevermore is also by Hindsight, which is why they go together so well.
Oh, they're beautiful. Are you thinking about how you're going to finish them?
I was going to make a needle book with them.
Oh, that's a great idea. They're so petite. They'd be just the perfect size.
So I figured they just hem up the bottom and top and then fold it in half. And then you have a good needle book size.
Oh, it's perfect. Adorable.
Yep. To stay.
What do you have underneath it? What's that piece? Is that a coverlet kind of pattern?
This is from the Scarlet House.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, oh gosh, they did a book with 4 designs. And this was together with this being on the left side. And then the right side being the Renner Fancy Weaver. But I had this idea to cut down the center. And then I'm going to join this side to this side so that this is the back.
Okay.
And again, it'll be another needle book.
Love it. Oh, it's beautiful. Over 1.
Over 1. And then this here is actually a napkin holder from Hobby Lobby. But you put a piece of board on the bottom. And then you can just gather up a piece of fabric, put your stuffing into it, glue it in, and you have a pincushion.
Oh, that is adorable. What a great idea. Oh my gosh.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh, is that, who is this by? You've got the pattern here. Is this a freebie? No.
I think it was. Yeah, it was a freebie.
Oh, I think I showed the chart. I can edit that.
By passioncreative.over-blog.com.
Let me get close on that. That is for this guy.
Yeah.
Really cute. Needlebook again, do you think?
It's going to be a scissor case.
Oh, even better. Yes. That's perfect.
So I have
everything you need for it.
Yeah.
Did you have to make a design for that? I mean,
I had an actual scissor case that I was able to outline. So I made the back piece, and I made a piece to go on the front. And this will be, I think this is going to fit. Yeah, right on the front.
Yep. Oh, that's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
And you'll just use a coordinating fabric that you like for the back.
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty, now let's see. You know, all of this yumminess we have to. I actually have stitched the Shakespeare's Peddler
Jenny Bean's
Halloween. And you did.
I changed out the colors.
I was gonna say because I don't remember having purple on mine.
Yeah, I changed the colors and added in some Glorianas.
Oh, it's beautiful, and it's over 1 because yours is a lot smaller than mine.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
But no, you can take any pattern and brighten it up to your likes.
Yeah, changing. I mean, you probably. I mean, you can always. Okay, so wait a minute. So speaking of which, did you change anything in this Miss Sampler?
No.
What?
The only thing I changed were the letters in the bowl, because since I stitched it over 1, I couldn't use her lettering. So I went to the Brenda Keyes Sampler Motifs book and looked at her alphabet, found one that was only over like 5 or 6 threads, and used that to personalize it.
Okay. Because every time I go to kit this up, I'm like, oh, those colors are so like, no, they don't look like the cover, but these are the colors.
Yeah.
Right? Did you use the silks?
I used the silks.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that I had bought all the silks before I went to the attic, and then I got to the attic and asked them for the silks. Got the replacement because they didn't have Woolly Bear and yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. I can't find it. The gold.
Yeah, well, I have extra.
Oh, okay.
Because I only stitched over 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no, I already had all the threads.
Okay.
So it worked out great.
Perfect sampler. And so then we have, are these Quaker medallions?
This is a Virlanda sampler by Perman of Copenhagen.
Oh, Lord. That is beautiful. And you've done it with red accents.
Yes.
And this is over one. Oh, man. So pretty. Beautiful. And let's move up here. So now we have, what is this one called? Because I feel
this is by the Drawn Thread, and it's called Marriage of the Mind.
Oh, okay. I have this one. I just haven't started it, but
yeah. So everything, the trees have some specialty stitches. I think the dividing band may have had some specialties. The apples on the tree were, looks like some type of roadstar.
okay.
Yeah, and then when you get down to here, that's where your satin stitches are.
Okay. Very pretty. They're perfect.
Yeah, and you had rose hearts.
Okay. Do you remember what you stitched it on or with?
I don't remember what.
2004? Is that what I'm saying?
Okay, 2004 is when it was supposed to have been finished.
Oh, okay.
I got that date in before I ever got to the ocean, which was my stopping point.
Okay.
But I think I actually finished stitching it in maybe 2016.
Okay. It's finished though. It's beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to move up and look at some of the Halloween decor. And I should say right here that one of the reasons why I really wanted to come over to Angie's and film around Halloween time is because she keeps all of her Halloween decorations in her sewing room year round. Is that right?
Yes.
And so like all of the things that you see around the house are all in here. So I was just dazzled by...
And all of the things around the house are normally kept on these shelves.
Right. And so now everything's a lot more spaced out. But okay, so now we're gonna move over. Let's see.
Like this is the Halloween corner to the right.
I'm gonna pause here for a second and switch my view here. Okay, so we're gonna go up over the top, and we have Merry Christmas up here. Do you remember where that came from?
I think that's a Stony Creek chart made back in the 90s, so it probably isn't available anymore.
Okay, secondary market probably.
Right.
And then next to that is the beautiful Christmas
Blackbird
garden.
Designs Christmas Gardens.
And this is over one on 25?
Yes.
And did you use your own colors?
I used mostly the called for, but I think I did darken up the red and the green.
Yeah, because it looks brighter than...
Because I really did I like the darker red and a darker green. So I changed that up.
And this is art to frame?
Yes.
It's a perfect frame.
Yes.
So do you move that out into the big room during the holidays?
Yes, for Christmas it will get moved out.
Okay. So.
And then that is Hobby House Designs. I forget the exact name.
Okay.
But
I'll look it up, but I know that one too. But
that is also over one on 25 count.
Oh, that is beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh,
the tree was originally charted for red.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, and then next to
this one came from a Vanessa Ann book back from the 80s. And I think it was designed by Terry or Tina Richards of Shepherd's Bush. Because before they were actually, while they were at the store, they designed also for Vanessa Ann.
So this was a book. I know.
Yes.
I've probably seen it. I love it.
And that was my first big piece. So that was stitched over two on with two threads on 11 count Aida.
Okay.
The only piece of 11 count Aida I've ever stitched on.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
You said after that, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next one, that one is a lavender and lace chart from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was stitched while I had my store, so my model stitcher Ida worked on it.
Is this got have beading on it?
Yes, all of those strands on the tree are beaded.
Oh my.
And she did just a gorgeous job at it.
Oh, it's just beautiful.
And the entire border is done in metallic.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Do you remember is it a linen? It's probably linen.
Yeah, it's done on a linen. And I don't remember the exact name of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it may still be available. Finish of Lantern Lane.
I know, Lantern Lane.
Works.
You know, it feels like I love Lantern Lane, and everybody I see that has stitched it, that talk about it, say it took a lot longer than they thought it was going to take.
I guess because I stitched it over one, and it didn't really take that long. I think it took me maybe 3 weeks to finish it.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
No.
Some down here. Oh, these are.
And these are Joan Elliott's.
Okay.
And she's done several samplers.
Let me see if I can steady my hand.
With these measurements.
What do you mean
So,
measurements? Oh, they're
it's
the
only
same
like-
size.
Yeah, they're the same size. I
Okay.
think she has like five or six of them that are the same size.
Mm-hmm. And so we
And these
have Halloween on this side.
Yes.
And these are over one, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
And these are all on 25 count Lugana.
Angie, the stitching. Oh my gosh. How many hours a day do you think you end up stitching?
Probably 5 or 6
Yeah.
hours a day.
And you break it up. Obviously, you're not
Yes.
doing that all at once.
No. Yeah, so like the first one is All Hallows Eve sampler.
Okay.
The second one is Give Thanks for All Things.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, I don't have in here, but I know it's a winter.
And you changed up the color of the fabric. Obviously, is different.
Yes.
Are the two ends? Are those two the same fabric?
They're the same fabric.
Okay.
And it's a type of overdyed blue that Zweigart does, which is just simply printed on one side.
Okay.
But, you know, if you want an overdyed look, there's nothing wrong with going to Zweigart's pre-printeds.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you'll save a lot of money.
Especially something like this where there's so much stitching on there. It's covering up so much. You just really see a peek of the fabric underneath. They're beautiful. So did you do these all in the same year, or has this been?
I did all 3 in a row.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, definitely all 3 in the same year.
You're impressive. Okay, and so then we have a blackbird design. Is this from the book Winds of Autumn?
I think it is. Oh no, it was actually from a separate leaflet.
So this was, it had been out of print before they reprinted it,
Yeah. And I can't remember what the name of it was.
2021. And what is this one? I don't know who this is by. That's not Lizzie Kate, is it?
No, it's not Lizzie Kate. It might be Cottage Garden Samplings.
Okay.
And it was the first Halloween that they did.
I'll see if I can find it and put the name up. And then what is this?
That one, like
Birds of a Feather.
And I think that was Havana fabric.
Oh my gosh.
Probably a 28 count, because I did stitch that one with 2 strands.
Angie.
But it was adorable.
I'm telling you, I think I saw somebody show the chart, but seeing it in person is a completely different story. I would totally stitch that. Scared Silly.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Love it. Not in print anymore, the Birds of a Feather.
Some of them are, but
I'm going to see if I can
it can
find
be hard
that.
to get them.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Yeah,
okay.
The next one is Lizzie Kate's Halloween Rules.
That's Lizzie Kate, that's right. Halloween Rules, and you've done this on a really cool fabric.
I went to Paradise Stitchery in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And she had the fabric, and I think she even had the bell pull hardware. And so I was able to get everything there.
Let me see if I can get that bell pull. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You could probably call them to get this and see if they still have it. Paradise Stitchery.
Yeah.
Paradise Stitchery?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
But I think I bought this back in 2010.
It wasn't, it was all one piece though, right? It wasn't like
no, it was 6 separate booklets.
Oh, 6. Okay, so
you
it was
may
like,
or may not be able to find all 6.
I see.
I know 123 Stitch is selling Lizzie Kate, but I'm not sure if they have all of those charts in.
Okay. And so what do we have up here?
That was another Lizzie Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the exact name, but it was one of her triptychs where you bought 3 charts to finish the piece.
Uh-huh.
And that was just a really fun one to do.
That's great. I like how you've framed, or you're displaying it. You've got it on a mat board that you've covered with fabric, probably.
Yeah, because if you can't afford to frame it, you can still cover a piece of display board with fabric and then mount your piece to it.
Mm-hmm. And then if you want to frame it later, you can always frame it.
You can take it off and then frame it.
Yeah.
Or you could even just take the entire thing and put it into a frame.
Right.
Because I have done that too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's how, on that end.
Okay, we'll get down there in a sec. And so these are
by Primitive Moon?
Prairie Moon?
Prairie Moon.
Okay.
And these were
these are cool.
Thine is the trick and the treat. And the other one is no, thine is the trick and the treat.
That's great. I love those.
And they were both fun, Quakers.
That cat in the upper corner. That's hilarious. I mean, the thing about these is every time you look at it, you see something else.
I have to admit, it was just fun and quirky. And
but beautiful. I mean, very elegant in all black. And you've done this over one?
No, I did this over 2, I believe, on a 36 count.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
I could do that. And then
A Wavy Ride is stitched over 1.
Everybody loves this
on
one.
a 25 count.
That's beautiful.
And I know I did make some color changes in this, but I can't remember exactly what.
Okay, let me see if I can get in a little bit closer. I know a lot of people are stitching this right now, including our friend Sarah's Stitchy Spot.
Right.
And I didn't realize that the acorn border is like black and gray.
Yeah, and actually the acorns change colors. Because you have gray acorns at the top here.
Right.
And then you have black acorn tops.
Oh.
And on the side you have black acorn tops, then switch to gray, then to black.
Okay. Well,
and that's one of the key things about this piece.
Yeah, that's why it gives it that look.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do it with a variegated floss, but it looks so cool the way it is.
Or if you wanted to, you could do all gray caps all the way around.
Sure.
You can change them to however you want to.
But this way it looks more vintage, agey, and less basic cool. So, wow, that is just amazing.
And I kind of like the fabric covered mounting boards because then you can customize them to whatever your interior is or the season.
Right.
And it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just frame a piece, sure, the stitching is decorative, but you don't have the additional pop of color.
Well, and you know what I have to say, from a distance, the fabric you've chosen looks like burl wood frames. And I don't know if that was intentional, but it looks like they're all framed from a distance.
And yet this is the cheap Walmart fabric.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
this is a cheap Walmart
Batik or something.
rust-colored leaf
Oh,
pattern.
it's beautiful. Yeah. Love it. And do you keep these up year-round all in the places that they are, or do you move these guys around too?
Normally, in the past, I've put them away for the season.
Yeah.
The only reason that they're all out is for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to move up here because what you have in the corner here is really beautiful.
And those first two pieces were given to me by Carmen Puckett back when I had my store, back in 95 to 97. And I think she had actually won ribbons. I know she won a ribbon on that first one.
Really?
And I think it was back in the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do we know what it's called? You don't know.
I have no idea what it's called.
I love the red and green. I just love it.
Yes.
And the one next to it is really beautiful too.
Yes.
It's so simple, but
it's simple, but it's really nice.
Gorgeous. She gave them to you. That's a really special treasure.
Well, I traded her some fabric, I'm sure.
Okay, well, yeah.
And then this one is a Paula Vaughn that I stitched.
Oh my gosh.
Probably back in 1992.
I love it. That's like a...
For Greg's grandmother.
Okay, a quilt on a chair.
Oh, it's actually a quilt on a trunk in front of a...
Oh, on a trunk. Wheel. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
The spinning
and
wheel.
She was a quilter.
Uh-huh.
And she liked doing trip around the world quilts, so I thought it was appropriate.
Oh, that's amazing. And it came back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And what do you have here?
Those are two pattern pages that I got at an antique store and mounted them and framed them.
Oh, those are perfect for like a sewing craft room.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
I love the frames. I'm going to come down really quick here because we've got other things we want to see. I love him.
Yeah, so we're back to a hindsight chart.
Okay.
And easily it's called Wicked Witch.
Uh-huh, yes. This looks like Havana, do you think?
It may be Havana. Probably is Havana or something of the sort.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fun stitch.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. I like the charm. Did you just add the charms or did it have those?
Hindsight patterns come with the charms.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if it uses charms, they come with them.
And then over here, we have our blackbird designs.
Yeah, from the Winds of Autumn. This was the strawberry.
Right.
But I decided to just frame it.
Uh-huh.
And it fit perfectly into a 5x7 frame.
Do you know what count you're doing this on?
That was over 1 on 25 count.
Okay. Called for
threads.
Really? Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move. Like we've got some fun. What is this guy here? Did you make that?
It's basically a Halloween tomato scissor fob that I picked up at Lady Dot Creates. Her old store was called The Elegant Stitch.
Okay.
And that was from her store back in maybe the early 2000s.
Okay. Gosh, that's so adorable.
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh. And you got your fun pumpkins. You got some spools. And then who do we have down here? We know who these are. La-di-da, yeah?
Yes. And I think these are still available.
Yes. I think you're right. Once Upon a Midnight Dreary. Beautiful. I love the way you've matched them with the fabric backgrounds. Yeah, and look at your fabric collection. You've got some good stuff here. I recognize some of this, but yours looks a lot more organized than mine.
That's simply because I put them onto the comic board backers.
I have those too now. I'm thinking of reorganizing all my fabrics into that.
The reason I love the comic board backers is because it makes it so easy to organize your fabrics.
Yeah, and they're so affordable to go on Amazon. I'll link those, but yeah, those are great.
It's some work, but then you can...
And you can use them for finishing. If you want to use them for like a needle book, they're so easy to cut.
You can even cut them down smaller and use them for your ribbon storage. So instead of having your ribbons all on these round spools that are hard to store.
Right.
You put them on either cut down comic board or cut down foam core board.
And you can slot them into, oh,
yes.
I like that idea.
And that's how I have my ribbons stored.
Okay, you're gonna show me that in a second, but
sure.
let's go through. So we've got, if you want to, you don't have to. So we've got Happy Halloween, and we know who that's by. That's so cute.
I can't remember offhand.
I love the black cat on the top.
But I think he is still available. The top one was actually a Blackbird Designs. A small card.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's in one of the books that I have too. And this is La Di Da.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is La Di Da, but of course,
really
mostly
small.
finished much larger than that.
Yeah. That's teeny.
And I think this is over 1 on 28 count.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks even smaller.
Yeah, but she was fun. I love her dress.
I love it too.
And I know this one here was Tom Turkey.
Okay.
And I think it's by Heart and Hand.
Oh, okay. 2020.
Yeah. And then Spooky Time was, I believe, a Lizzie Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Just a small. So that was fun.
Really cute.
And then these are the waxers that I...
Oh my gosh, look at your waxers. Ooh.
And these are waxers I actually got from, again, Lois Morisky's shop, Elegant Stitched, back in the 90s.
Okay. Oh my gosh, those are just gorgeous.
Yes, and they can hang from the ribbon.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. So these are my favorite pieces.
I love this with the pomegranate.
Yeah, and these were actually just wax put into, I think, paper molds.
Really?
Yes. They were paper press molds.
Holy moly.
But they just turned out gorgeous.
They're just epically pretty. Those are so pretty. Okay.
Yeah, and as long as your house doesn't get to 100 degrees, you can hang them up and not worry about them
They won't melt off
melting.
the walls.
Yeah.
And who do we have here?
Oh gosh, I can't remember who that design was from. But apparently it's on Ada, so it was stitched probably in the 80s.
Yeah. Really cute though. Cute colors. Really pretty colors. And next to it.
And I can't remember who that design
And that
was
one's
by.
on
This is on
linen. That one's pretty too. And then what is this little guy here?
That was a freebie.
Really?
I'm not sure, but it might have been from the Drawn Thread.
Ooh. If I can find that one, I'll link it if I can find it.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you remember when you stitched it by any chance?
No, and as you can tell, it was stitched at a time when I didn't think about putting a year on it.
Right?
So it was probably stitched in the early 90s.
Okay.
And
yeah. I like the prints you have up here.
yes, and those were simply postcards
Uh-huh.
put onto some black scrapbooking 12 by 12 paper
Uh-huh.
using clear photo corners.
Oh, that's what you were talking about earlier.
You can attach any kind of a postcard to a solid piece of scrapbooking paper using clear photo corners, and you can't really see the photo corners.
No, you can't. Is this a vintage postcard, or did you find these?
These were just the antique type postcards that you could buy in the 90s.
Okay. Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah. This was back when Victorian things were in.
Yes.
And
I think
love
they
the
should.
Victorian look.
Me too. I think they should always be in.
Yes.
Personally. Okay, so we're gonna go back up here because I want to get the. Is that a shepherd's?
That is
bush?
a shepherd's bush.
Let's get that one.
Probably called Joyous Noel.
Okay. Was that a kit, do you think?
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't a kit, but I did order the Jill Rensel mat.
I was gonna say that's a Jill Rensel mat. Okay.
Yeah, at that time, and I think even now you can still order the Jill Rensel mat sets from Shepherd's Bush.
Okay. That's awesome. And then next to that, we've got, what
And
is
I know
the
those
tree?
are by Hillside Samplings
Okay.
because she liked doing, these smalls that had like buttons and beads. that would attach to them. I just didn't care for attaching the big buttons. Still looking for it. It rarely comes up, and I know I got rid of mine a long time ago, but it was a fun piece.
Cross stitchers are a different breed. So we hope for things we need. That is cool.
Yeah.
And then of course we have the Prairie Schooler Santas. And you do these every year?
You know, I did the 3, but now I'm planning on doing them over one on 28 count, so that I can squeeze the whole set onto one of my little 5-foot trees.
Okay, because there's a lot of them.
There's 40 of them.
40. Get going there. Well, it probably doesn't take you that long to stitch something like this.
Yeah, over one, I should be able to finish one in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Let's go up to
oh gosh,
the corner. This is Patriotic in Nature.
Yeah, and I can't remember who that design was by.
Look at that frame. My goodness, that is beautiful.
And that's another art to frame piece.
I like that you used that mat with it too.
Yeah, it was matted and in a different frame that fell off a wall and broke.
Okay.
So all I had to do was just find a new frame to fit the matting.
I love it.
And Art to Frame, of course, had it.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we have a
Shepherd's Bush game board. And this one was in a 12 by 12 frame, I think, from Amazon.
Is that what that's in right now? Oh,
yep.
Nice. That's a good solution.
Yep.
Do you remember what year you stitched that?
I think I started it probably in 96, but I didn't actually finish it until about 2018.
But it's finished now.
Yeah, and apparently I just stretched it and glued it on top of a mat board that I had cut to fit the frame.
Okay. And it's still holding together.
Yeah. And honestly, if you don't think your piece is going to pass down to anyone, and it's not like an heirloom reproduction sampler type,
right?
There's nothing wrong with gluing it to something.
Agreed. I agree. And then we've got...
And this one is the Shepherd's Bush again. I don't remember the name of it. This one is stitched over to on a linen. And it is in an Art to Frame frame.
I love that Art to Frame frame you've chosen. I feel like I've seen it on a few of your samplers.
Yes.
That's pretty. And then we'll come to this one here. The Seven Virtues. Oh,
and I
love
think that one
this.
is La-di-da.
Oh, that is...
Stitched over one, I think, on 28 count.
Okay. And is it all one color? I can't tell.
No, there are 3 different colors in it. The lettering is in one color. The title and the numbers are in a second. And the outlines of the stars are in that second color. Filled with a third color.
Okay. It's so pretty. I love it. Love that.
Yeah.
I would totally stitch it. And then here is... Oh, this is
I think
heartstring sampler.
I think so, yeah.
Realize my sleeping body as lifeless as can be. If thou should bring me coffee, I would spring to life with glee.
And this was I think a Walmart. I think I purchased the frame at Walmart.
Oh, you did?
And then I just cut a board to fit inside the frame, covered it with the fabric, and then I laced the piece to another board and glued it on with Aileen's tacky glue.
It's perfect.
And it's the same with this one.
I love this one too.
Which is a Long Dog sampler. And I believe it's called Boo Bouquet.
Boo Bouquet. Is it supposed to be Halloween-y?
I don't think so, really. She doesn't really do much Halloween. But this one was charted all in one color.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, well, I like the black for the background.
Right.
And I'd like to add gold, red, and green in the shades that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually fairly easy to do because you had red flowers, green stems, and a gold base.
Mm-hmm. And the gold crown.
Yeah, and the gold crown.
I love it. And then the frame acts as like a frame, really, for the piece.
Yeah, and the frame is, again, from a store.
Uh-huh.
With a backing.
Just as is.
Yeah, backing board covered in fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Piece stretched and laced, and then tacky glued onto the backing board.
Fabulous. Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit about how you organize things. I don't want you to have to go into too much depth. And do you stitch in this room sometimes? Because you have
Actually,
a TV in here.
Not really.
No.
If I'm going to stitch on the machine, I do.
Okay.
Or if the husband is watching sports, I will come in here.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So what do you primarily store over here on this
Over
area?
on this side is all of my books.
Okay.
So like I have Eileen Bennett books here.
Mm-hmm.
And she has some great stitch books.
Mm-hmm.
And then back here I have like the Sampler and Antique Needleworks.
Right.
And the Darlene Osteen Proper Stitches.
Right.
And her books are fantastic on teaching you stitches.
Okay.
Sampler and Antique Needleworks have some great samplers in there that you won't see anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, some older ones and some stitch diagram books.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the left side, I have more of the antique.
Stump work and chatelaines, antique needlework. Art of the Embroiderer.
Yeah, that was one that came out in the 90s. And it was very expensive because it was a boxed piece.
Uh-huh.
I did also have girlhood samplers or something.
Yeah,
which I did sell to a bookseller for $100-something.
Oh, do you wish you had it back now?
I'm not sure that I would really look through it.
Sure.
But
I mean, once you look through it and you kind of glean what you can, it's good to pass
back in
things like that.
2006, I think from selling off books and needlepoint threads, I made like $6,000, which went to my iPhone fund.
Oh, good for you.
You can actually find this cheaply, but it's the DMC Encyclopedia of Needlework.
What? That is so cool.
And it was created back in like 1900.
Uh-huh.
And it has all different kinds of stitching in it. You will need your readers in order to read it.
It's tiny.
It's very tiny. But it shows a lot of different techniques.
Hardanger and everything. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Hem stitching in it, needle lace, macrame.
And you think you can find that on...
you can find it on eBay.
Probably. Yeah. Oh, that's neat.
And I think they still have some on eBay for like only $50.
You have charts over here, or is this primarily just books?
Down below is mostly all beading.
Okay.
And those are all cases of beads.
Okay.
And then behind you, all of the envelopes, the Amazon project bags,
Sure.
have charts by designer.
Okay.
And I found it was easier to do that than to put them all in these boxes because the boxes got so heavy that I could hardly move them.
Yes.
So this way, if I want blackbirds, I can just pull out the blackbird envelope.
Right.
Or the drawn thread envelope.
Oh, that's brilliant. What size are these envelopes? They look bigger.
Some are 9 by 13 and some are as large as 13 by 15.
Okay.
The 13 by 15s, of course, are much wider. So you want that for your blackbird collection.
Yes, you do. Do you put like all the blackbird booklets and everything in? Okay, all in one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so what do you keep in the?
Okay, so in the top two, I have miscellaneous charts.
Okay.
Like maybe I have a designer who I only have one chart of, so it might be kept in there.
Okay.
In the bottom, I keep everything from easels and stands, scrap wood, tins, chart, counted canvas. Must-do charts is charts that I made working copies of. And
Okay.
put them into individual baggies to do.
So they're ready.
Yeah.
To grab.
And then I have finishing, felt,
Okay.
finishing items,
Okay.
paper crafts, which is everything like my paper trimmer to paper clips and pens and
Sure. And then you've got, so these aren't charts down here. It's all the charts are in.
This is just all this different stuff.
Okay. Supplies that you're going to need for your crafting.
Finishing, threads,
Sure.
lapwork frames and extra bags, polar fleece.
Sure.
And all on top in those 6 bins are by designer or by holiday.
Okay, I can see that. You've got some Mary Cox.
Mm-hmm. I have Mary Cox. I have 2 years of her subscription.
Did you have kits of hers? And have you ever done one?
I haven't actually finished one, but I did have 2 kind of like I don't know what you would call them, needle rolls.
Yes.
I have 2 of those.
Like housewives. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are by holidays.
Okay.
And then these are by designers. Like I have a lot of Sharon Cohen and Darlene Osteen.
Okay.
And Sharon Cohen was a wonderful designer. Yeah, cottages, stitching charts, which is anything involving stitching and stitching supplies.
Oh, cute.
Teresa Wensler, of course. Red samplers. Must have. And Quakers. A must have.
Nice. I like the way you've organized this.
Yeah, and then all the rest are by designer. But I figured, if you don't separate them out by holiday, then if you're doing holiday stitching, you don't fully know what you really have.
Now, do you have one that's just Prairie Schooler only?
Yes, I do.
I was going to say, because that's holiday, but it's also other things. So that's all your Prairie Schoolers. Or do you have your Santas in a different thing?
Okay, this is all the Prairie Schoolers.
Okay, so that's, you don't have to open it, but I get it. All right, there you go.
Yeah. I think all the Santas are...
Oh, and then you have them like...
Yeah, and then I have little tabs that you can just...
That's so smart.
Divide them into their categories.
And these are just little stick-on tabs that you can get.
Yeah, and you can buy them at Walmart or any kind of sampler store.
I feel organization coming into my life in a better way. This is so cool. Yeah. It's a low-cost way of being able to really organize and protect these.
Yes.
So I have to ask, do you keep, is this where all your DMC is? I'm jumping ahead.
That is where all of my pearl cotton is.
Okay.
When we had this store, we had floss DMC pearl cotton 5, 8, and 12 sizes. Along with the tatting cotton and some of their crochet cotton. And so this is all pearl cotton.
These are great containers. So these are in your shop.
Yeah. And then I decided to put, cut pieces of paper to put in front so that the pearl cotton wouldn't get affected by sun and light.
All right.
So yeah. These are all the pearl cottons. And these are some of my DMC's.
On floss drops.
Yeah, just my overage.
Okay.
Oh, these are Sullivan's. And then I have Threadworks. Yeah. So and then some anchors.
Why are there so, I know this is kind of a rookie question, but why are there so many skeins on here?
If I had multiple skeins, I used the thread drops from Access Commodities.
Okay.
Because it's such a large hole, you can put multiple skeins onto one drop.
I see.
And then if I only had one skein, then I used my own cuts.
Okay.
Which are just the comic book backer boards cut into 1-inch by 2-inch strips.
Oh, okay. And you punch the holes in it.
And then you punch your own holes.
That's a good thing to do.
And then over here I have silks.
Okay. And you keep them out of the light.
Yes, I always keep them covered, and
they're organized by name or
like these are all the silks for you.
Okay.
These are Classic Colorworks and Glorianas. And then we go to needlepoint ink silks. And then to Splendor silks, which are by Rainbow Gallery.
Right.
And are very cost conscious if you want a 12-ply silk.
Right. I
They're
know.
the cheapest you can get.
I've been buying that. Now, but mine are all kinked up. Do you iron yours by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, then.
I wind them onto, I'll show you my winder.
Okay. This is all good.
Because anyone can make one of these. It's a Home Depot paint stick.
Yeah.
And then you just measure it, cut it to your 9-inch length.
Right.
Use a little bit of sandpaper to soften up your edges so you don't, pull on your threads. And then you can just easily wind,
Right.
your little skein of thread onto this.
Yes.
Edge it off.
Uh-huh.
Cut the one end and loop it through a tag.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And then you iron it.
I do iron it.
Do you iron it before you wind it? I know this is a crazy question.
I iron after I wind it while it's on the tag.
Okay.
And I set it to the highest setting. And I do, on just regular DMCs, I will use steam.
Okay.
And then you just pull on the knotted end on the tag.
Right.
You don't want to pull directly on the tag just in case.
It might get burned. Where?
Yeah. And then you just pull your threads.
Okay.
And they will iron out flat.
I like it. All right. I've got some work to do. And then in this.
And then the rest of the
This is the overage here.
These are all the overdyed cottons.
Okay.
And then my DMC collection, which...
Do you have a full set of the DMCs? And...
I would say yes, but then I find that I'm missing something.
Yeah.
So...
It depends.
And then I have the full line of soie d'Alger back here on 2 racks.
How fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's just how many years of collecting, or is that from
Well,
having your shop?
It was probably for 5 years after I had my shop.
Okay.
Because I had maybe 100 colors in the shop. And then I went about getting the other 400.
Oh, okay. A little at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Not necessarily for any projects. You just wanted to have it.
I just wanted to have the full collection so that if I'm working on a chart, I can just say, okay, well, let me see what I have.
Right.
Either pull the number or look through the colors and match to what I'm working on.
Do you think you'd ever design charts? Do you think you'd ever do it? No.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think I have the patience of a designer.
Yeah. It is a lot of work, I think, right?
Yeah, because you figured you're trying to build something and then you're like, I don't exactly like that shape, and you have to rework it. And rework it, and then you have to look at the colors and...
Yes. And then you've got to stitch it to make sure the colors all work, or have somebody stitch it for you.
Yeah, and if you're stitching in just one strand of a thread, it's going to come out much lighter than what the full 6 strands look like.
Yes.
So then you have to make sure that the
that one
will still
strand
be visible.
And as a
stitcher,
don't you find it's nice when you can just use one thread?
Oh, yes.
Now. Especially when you do, a lot of what you're doing now is over 1 on 25 count.
And that's because I only like stitching with one thread.
Agreed. Fabrics. Oh, let's do the fabrics. Yeah. That is kind of the what everybody loves to see. So these are how you store.
It's my fabric storage.
Okay.
And these are all snap lock containers, I think, that were available at Joann's at one time.
Okay.
And they no longer carry them. But they were great containers. And you bought them when they were 50% off. And you bought as many as you could.
That's so nice how they all stack.
Yeah.
And so you have other fabrics on that side too. So
I have my hand dyes on this side.
Okay.
And all of my solids on this side.
Look at all that. 25 count even weave. Do you think that's what you've got the most of? You have a lot of that because
I have a lot of 32 and 28 count.
And 32, 28. Okay.
Yeah, because that was, we had, back in the 90s, you had to have 28 and 32 count linen.
But I'm telling you, because I've been using, I'm doing Jane Parsons now with the wools on 28. I love it. Look at all your Appleton wool. Oh, and I'm loving it. I don't know. I mean, it certainly doesn't replace silk or even
No.
DMC because it doesn't have the sheen that I like. Or
Right.
it's a different feel, but I do like it.
And you have to be on 28 count.
You
or
do.
less.
You do. But I do like the 32 count for the flower thread.
Yeah.
Is nice. So
Yeah.
I'm doing something else on that too. All
And
right.
then, of course, these are the kits, and these are the whips.
Oh, look at all that. So kits
Mm-hmm.
haven't been started yet? You're kitted up?
Yeah, not
Ready to
started
go?
yet.
And
And
the
then
whips.
whips.
Whips and prong. That's not that many. Look at that. That's really not that many. Do you know how many you have off the top of your head?
I think there's maybe 20 whips.
That's not bad at all.
And I have 2 whips that I retired because I started them in 97.
Okay, that was going to be a question of mine.
And
What
they
did you
were
retire?
lavender and lace,
Yeah.
stitched on 18 count linen
Oh,
using watercolors, which is Caron's.
those are
Pearl
pretty. Oh, that's interesting.
So it's a very big piece.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer interested in doing
First
very
of all,
big
the
pieces.
framing on that would be ginormous.
Astronomical.
And where
Yeah.
would you put it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I am thinking about just redoing them on 25 count 1/1.
I like that idea. But would you do the beads? If you do that? Probably
No,
not.
I think both of these didn't ask for beads.
Oh.
Because of how large they were.
Cool.
So I'm thinking about doing shepherd's bush stockings that way too.
That's a great idea. Ooh, I like that
I
idea.
have 2 stockings that I did fully stitch on 18 count.
Uh-huh.
But
Are they put away?
yeah,
For
they're
Christmas.
kind of rolled up.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in
Doing the...
hanging them.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
That's a big size to hang.
It is, yeah.
Whereas like if you do the mini stockings, you can hang the mini stockings
On the
anywhere.
tree, even.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite fabric? If you had to pick a favorite... I know that's tough. Okay, let's do this. What's your favorite hand-dyed fabric? Do you like Lakeside linen?
To be honest, I haven't really stitched on Lakeside yet.
You haven't.
I have some, but I haven't stitched on it yet.
Okay.
So far, my favorites are this Weigart stamped.
Really? Okay.
Because you get the look of a hand dyed
Mm-hmm.
with the modeling,
Mm-hmm.
but you can get it in white with the tan color on it,
Mm-hmm.
or on a gray with a darker gray.
Sure.
You can get it in the blues, and you can get it in the
And it's
vintage country mocha.
and it's a venture for me. I do like the hand-dyed linens, and I feel like they have their own personality
Oh,
sometimes.
trust me, when I went to the attic, oh my God.
I'll bet.
Any trip to the attic is dangerous.
I haven't been yet, but I'm telling you, I've got to just go without going to a retreat first. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I'd be so overwhelmed with what.
These are my older overdyes. The 28s and 32s are back when I had the store.
Oh, and you still have the fabric from your store?
Yeah, back then it was Green Mountain
Yeah.
and R&R and Blackbird.
Okay.
These are the attic stash.
Oh, yeah. I recognize that tag.
Yeah.
These days, I just ordered another piece of that. It's on the way to me by Seraphim. I love that
Yeah, and
one.
then of course Fiber on a Whim.
Uh-huh.
Here's another Seraphim.
Ooh, what's that one called? I like that.
Dusty Road.
Dusty Road, of course I like that. Yeah. It's a great color.
And this is
Beautiful.
eggshell? Yeah.
Fiber
Eggshell
on a
Fiber on a
Whim.
Whim. Has more of a greenish
Yeah,
cast.
it does have a green look to it. Ooh, what's that?
And Dora by Needle and Flax.
Oh, yeah.
Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim.
I love that one too. That's very mild.
It's a good
looking.
neutral.
Yeah, it's really good.
Here's a very greeny one.
Oh, that is green.
This one's Seraphim Time. I think it's Time Green. Oh, Time Goes By.
Oh, okay. Thyme, like the herb.
Yeah.
Okay. And that one is
Prairie Grass.
prairie grass. That's so interesting because I always think that prairie grass is going to be green, but it's not.
And it's not.
That's a great color.
Well, I guess if you look at our prairie grass out here in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. Atticus by Needle and Flax. That one's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
And then this one is Mocha by Weeks.
Oh, that's good. That's a good color.
Yeah, that's a good Halloween color.
That's a perfect Halloween color with black floss.
This one is another great Halloween color, Sahara Sand
Ooh.
by Tabby Cat.
That is delicious.
Yeah.
That's glorious. Oh, that's pretty.
And then, of course, I have some oldies.
What is... We don't know.
Yeah. Like this one here is Medium English Ivy by R&R. Here's a 36 count leaf by R&R.
Very little modeling back then on the hand-dyed, right?
And this one is a Fancy Blue by R&R. And this one is unnamed.
That one's really pretty. I like that blue. Gorgeous. It's almost looking, I mean, I'm just looking through my phone. This is looking...
That one does show some modeling.
It does, and it's also grayer than it's showing up on my phone. Interesting. Really pretty. Wow, you have quite the collection, Angie.
Yeah, so dyers in the 90s were not as proficient as they are now.
Right. And they weren't...
And this is just 36 count Dapple by Picture This Plus.
That's really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. Twilight.
Yeah, by Weeks Dye Works.
Aztec Red. Wow, I love the Aztec Red. I'm going to do a pair on that.
Oh, that would be neat.
With
I would, if you use
color?
white or ecru.
That's what I think. I would probably do a white silk.
Yeah, because you could even use the ecru and then it would just have more of a vintage look.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
Yeah, this one is also Picture This
Oh, I
Plus
like ale. Ooh,
Copper.
look at that. That's a Lakeside.
Yes. Oh, this is Lakeside Vintage Butter Pecan, or Pecan Butter.
I love that one.
I was able to get my hands on that one recently.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to find.
Yeah, this is Maple,
Maple Sugar.
from Needle in a Haystack.
You lucked out there.
Yeah. And Vintage Exemplar. I got this from Traditional Stitches.
Is that a...
Traditional Stitches, they have all of the Lakeside colors on the catalog. And you can check it off and order it. And they will put it onto the back order.
So you'll get it eventually.
Exactly.
That's nice to know. That's a good tip there.
And this is the Autumn Gold from Lakeside.
Oh, I like that. That would be great for Halloween. Stitching, don't you think, with the black?
These actually both say Autumn Gold, so I'm sure one is vintage and one is regular.
Or maybe it's just different dye lots, different years.
Yeah, possibly different dye lots.
Yeah. That's
I
what
think this one here is Copper by Lakeside.
Zoiger, Copper, Edinburgh, Terracotta, 36 count terracotta. It's pretty.
Yeah.
R&R Autumn Leaves.
This is the 25-year-old vintage of Overdyed.
Seriously?
Yes.
25 years?
Yes. That is my store tag.
Now, do you have a problem with them being in plastic, do you think?
No.
Okay.
And I haven't had any problems taking them out of the plastic. The biggest problem that you might have, oh, here's another piece of prairie grass.
Oh, now that's a totally different look to me than the other one.
That was a 40 count.
Okay, that's why.
The only thing that, if a piece of fabric has been stored in plastic for a long time, is just that the wrinkles will be in there.
Right.
But then all you have to do is put your iron on high heat and either use steam or use a spray bottle and spray the linen down damp and then iron over it, and the creases will come out. So that's why if you have it and it's sitting in an under the bed box unframed, all you have to do is just get some foam core or some regular mounting board, pin it, lace it, and just using a pin, put a piece of cording on the back.
Right.
Ballpoint down, pin going upwards to hold it. And just stick it on a tack on the wall.
So, I think we're going to I'm going to stop harassing you now. I mean, there's a lot more I would love to discuss, but we're gonna leave it here. I can always come back, right?
I have to show pins that Catherine
I made some pins.
and I was happy to Halloween.
Well, it's a small contribution. I don't know that I got up and saw Anna Oman. There's Anna Oman.
Yeah.
Which is, I've started, but I like yours, so I might restart it on a smaller thing.
Then Redwork is by Mojo Stitches.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and say thank you very much to Angie Sawyer. I will put all of Angie's information in our drop down. And do you want to say any closing words here?
Just keep stitching it. Get your pieces under the bed onto the walls.
There you go. Good tips. Thank you so much for your time. Okay. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.